In this episode of Career Q&A, I want to explore the question of what you can do with your LinkedIn featured section beyond what you would traditionally think. I'm going to take this from the standpoint of you as a business, because maybe you're freelancing or consulting, or you as part of your career. You're a job seeker, career changer, and you're looking to position your profile for success in this next chapter. So, what are some things that you could do to enhance your featured section? First, you could probably add it if you don't already have it. So that button is the Add Profile section right underneath the headline area. When you get down to that featured section, the important thing to consider about it is you want to make it visual. So first, when it comes to showcasing your business, you could put your products up here, you could put services. Some things to consider would be a report that maybe you generated, a white paper, but say, I did this project or this article or this thought piece on how to make the most out of your boot camp projects. Well, in order to showcase that, I have somebody working on some code here as the visual element meant to draw you into the rest of the story. Then when you click on it, it takes you full on into the article. Now, if you have a downloadable that you want to promote, in my case, I have a Get Started with Your Job Search document that you could purchase and download. You could go through and sort of image drop the brands you work with. So for example, say you do a lot of consulting and maybe all the logos don't show up on your LinkedIn profile because everything fits under your consulting brand. In my case, I consult as Sacred Time. So not all of my images will show up from the company pages. So in that case, maybe I want to feature those brands with logos here on my featured section. In terms of technology stacks, maybe I'm doing software web development and there's a certain languages that I work with. I could feature those logos here. So even though I might have a portfolio, I can still make use out of this platform to showcase and play to my strengths. So immediately people know what to come to me for. Some other things that you could use this for would be client case studies and use it to represent what the topic is about, but detail a little bit about the case study, the way that you worked with the client and the successful outcome that there was at the end. Now, if you were to think about this from the standpoint of a job seeker, someone looking for more employment or different employment, changing careers, and just repositioning your brand for a new industry, then you could still do thought leadership. So anything in here related to articles, and then it's nice and easy to tap to tie it to this featured section. For example, I wrote an article on how to love writing your cover letter, or at least tolerate it. So this is on my blog, but at the same time, I also put it here, which makes it nice and easy because I can click on the image and the whole thing is laid out here for you to read. At the same time, maybe there are qualities about my work that I want to highlight. I know that the trend can be to list qualities in the headline section of your LinkedIn profile. I would say you could also put some of this into the featured section. So right here as a demonstration, I have leadership listed out here. And then if anybody were to click on it, you get a bigger version of you're supposed to get a bigger version of the image and some description on how leadership shows up for me. Again, you could also list the brands that you're working with if you've been consulting and you want to make sure to call those out so that people know that you can work with bigger brands. The technology that you work with, you can also include that using the logos from the different languages. You can even use this for industry. So maybe you want to feature data science as part of it. So you put up an image that represents data science and you use this as a way to show your top industries. Case studies we've already discussed, but projects in particular. The key part to The case studies and the projects, especially if it's a data-driven project and putting up graph after graph after graph, is not going to be as visually enticing for people to click on, then that's where the stock photos come from. You could use a stock photo that represents the data that you were working with, the industry that you were working in, or the problem you were trying to solve, and then put a brief description before you link to your full-on project or working prototype. Got questions of your own? Feel free to ask me or join me for a free monthly career Q&A where I can answer those questions directly for you, whether they're about your job search strategy, your resume, or the services that I offer. In addition to that, you can get job search support through my program, Career GPS. Your partner in change, Sacred Time.